now let's take a look at what we have on our local dailies. On the front page of the Star newspaper, integrity hurdle, tough road for Ruto cabinet. Integrity hurdle, tough road for Ruto cabinet. At least 2 of the executive nominees have officially been charged in court, and graft agencies, anti-graft agencies unsure if they should release dossiers on nominees. That is also the front page of the Star. I was misquoted on Shamba system story. That is according to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua after there was a public uproar on that. He spoke about it yesterday. Gisheru autopsy pushed again amid claims of family squabble. An autopsy on lawyer Paul Gisheru was yesterday pushed again amid claims of family squabbles and calls for Interpol to take over the investigations. Labs readied for Ebola testing as MOH ramps up containment preps. That is according to the situation here. All samples collected from suspected Ebola cases will be transported to KEMRI laboratories for testing and analysis. The Ministry of Health has confirmed that only 4 labs based at KEMRI have the capacity to conduct the tests. That is as far as that is concerned. But so far, there is no case reported in Kenya. So, according to the family of the late lawyer Paul Gisheru, detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations took samples of the food Gisheru and the family had taken before he was found unconscious. Preliminary findings show that Gisheru and family were at home in Kari, Nairobi, the entire day Monday, hosting his visiting father-in-law and son who studied abroad but had returned home for a short visit. So, according to police spokesperson Bruno Shioso, he said that the cause of his collapse is unknown, but it was suspected to have been occasioned by shock from the father's death. So there's a squabble there, and the family is still torn in between whether to do a postmortem or not. But so far, it's been postponed. She drugged me and stole my baby, says Kakamega woman. She says that she was offered a cure for her wound, which left her unconscious for 4 hours. This is according to one lady called Lilian Manguti, who said that the baby is now missing after she was unconscious. Now, to that story of DP, I was misquoted on Shamba system. On Saturday last week, Gachagua said that the government was considering allowing farmers to use forests to boost food production. And speaking during the official opening of the National Trade Fair at the Jamhuri ground on Wednesday, the DP accused the media of misquoting him. So that is something that you're also waiting to see how it will pan out, because as you speak right now, many people are taking that story differently. Integrity hurdles for Ruto cabinet. So far, we have Aisha Jumwa, Mithika Linturi, and Moses Kuria. Aisha Jumwa was accused of murder, conspiracy to defraud Malindi NGCDF of 19 million shillings, conflict of interest, accusation of proceeds of crime and money laundering. And on Mithika Linturi, Agriculture CS nominee, currently he was charged of attempted rape. And finally, Moses Kuria, fraudulent acquisition of 3 million shillings CDF money and dealing with suspect property. So these cases are still active in court. All right, so just a sneak peek. We'll be delving deeper into this later on as far as news headlines is concerned. Jen?
Now, coming to the front page of the Daily Nation, we start off with that particular story concerning the late lawyer Paul Gisheru. Just to add on to what you've already mentioned, Victor, he adds to the list of witnesses that have been killed or disappeared in cases related to the ICC case. So far, he is the 13th person to die in these particular cases at the ICC. His death investigations are still ongoing, but as far as this particular Daily goes, they say the post-mortem examination was postponed because on the request of his parents, who are yet to travel from Eldoret. So that is just the difference in regards to what has been mentioned here. And of course, Raila Odinga yesterday urging that investigations into the death of lawyer Paul Gicheru be actually handed over to the to Interpol rather, to investigate this particular death so as to avoid this pattern of mysterious and unexplained deaths in Kenya, and especially so concerning such high-profile cases and his importance in that particular case. Elsewhere, 4 million Kenyans to be removed from the death list. This is a story that has been received with much appreciation from Kenyans, as yesterday President William Ruto told CBK to fast-track the removal of about 4 million Kenyans who were negatively listed on credit reference bureaus for defaulting on low payments, and also urged the telcos to lower the daily fees for some of these loans, something that will help so many Kenyans when it comes to securing capital and especially affordable loans for businesses should they choose to venture into that. Now, another interesting story that has been featured here on the Daily Nation is in regards to the expected vetting of nominees, Deputy President Ruto's nominees. So according to this Daily, MPs allied to Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition have warned that it will not be a smooth sail for President William Ruto's cabinet nominees, and especially so those who have integrity issues. So according to Ugunja MP, Opio Ndai, he said that the proposed cabinet, and I quote, is essentially a lineup of who is who in the dark world of theft of public resources. He went on to say that some men and women should be in jail for engaging in economic crime and sabotage of the country. Further on, going on to say that some of them are known for ethnic profiling. Others are warlords, hate mongers. Men and women are battling mega corruption cases, and of course some that are against positive change for the country. So they went on to confirm that it will not be an easy process when it comes to the vetting process. So that are just some of the stories that have been captured here on the front page of the Daily Nation. Doreen.
Right, and battle for majority slot to dominate House session, even as the President is expected to address both Houses of Parliament today beginning from 2:30 p.m. And what you have here is that the fight over which coalition will take the majority party slot is likely to dominate this first session, whereby both factions are claiming to have the majority in Parliament, and that is particularly also in the National Assembly. But going by what the Speaker, National Assembly, is saying, that is Moses Wetangula, he has, however, downplayed that battle for majority party slot, terming it as a small matter which he will rule on with ease when Parliament reconvenes, because now the onus rests on him as the National Assembly Speaker. Also, Registrar of Political Parties Andy Ruto had made her pronouncement, particularly on those that shifted ground, saying that that is unconstitutional. Of course, talking of those parties like UDM, MDG being the last party that shifted from Azimio to Kenya Kwanza. But also largely what is coming out is Article 108 of the Constitution, which strictly stipulates that the member of a majority shall be the member of the one to take that majority slot shall be a member of the largest political party or coalition of parties. And on that respect, there are some who are saying that Azimio coalition is just a political party which only flaunted one candidate in the recently concluded election, which is Raila Odinga, and the others are just parties inside that party which did not flaunt any candidate. So we wait to see how all this will pan out at the end of the day, and which faction will actually carry the day to pick the majority slot in the in Parliament, the National Assembly, because again, remember that this is also one of those very key slots in Parliament. Away from that, insights into 4 Ruto allies picked for top cabinet jobs. These are the ones that really stuck with him through thick and thin, I should say, from day one, and their profiles also have been well cut out in this particular article. The likes of Murkomen, Aden Duale, Kithure Kindiki, as well as Alice Wahome, that is a former Kandara member of parliament, just citing the fact that President Ruto picked them because of how they stood with him through thick and thin, and this is just largely also for the 10 years in which he was deputy president. And also, much as that is happening, contrasting reactions to the new lineup of cabinet secretaries. So much as there are those who are lauding the move, there are some who are saying there was a lack of that regional representation, as some are saying, going by what you have in this particular article, some even opposing this list, as they claim that some of those who are nominated were of questionable character. Remember that also there are some who really still have active cases in court, and what is being profiled is now where is the place of Chapter 6 of the Constitution in all of this. Regina.
Now, all eyes are trained on the bicameral parliament this afternoon, awaiting President Ruto's speech, his maiden address there, and we're likely to be looking at what priority areas are going to be mentioned in that inaugural speech. Now, pundits opine that it is going to basically be a laydown of what he wants to prioritize within his 100 days in office, and he needs the goodwill from the legislature there to see them sail through. Looking back at over the years and how Parliament has voted, where tyranny of numbers is very key, we are likely to see that in the next 7 days as they will be debating the President's speech from October 4th. According to this article, they say that one of the issues that is likely to come up is the 50 billion Hustlers Fund. For this to be enacted, MPs allied to the Kenya Kwanza are intent on implementing the right to work law that makes trading license and provision of a trading location an entitlement to every citizen. The president also promised to lower the cost of living by implementing measures such as an agricultural subsidy program and investment in agro-processing. So far, the government has rolled out a fast subsidy program targeting several areas across the country ahead of the short rains there. So we're going to be keenly focusing on what is going to be happening this afternoon, and that is just a summary of what we have on the front page of this particular daily, being the Standard, that has also given details in regard to the move by Safaricom and NCB as well as KCB there to slash interest rates for Fuliza. Given statistics indicate that on a daily, 1.6 billion shillings is borrowed in Kenya. Quite a sum there. Then on a human interest angle, and I was reading it out here to my colleagues of camera, is that a man is in court under abbreviations EWM, and he's filed a case in seeking an order to have his pregnant partner compelled to accept his help and presence until she gives birth. So according to him, life starts at conception, and thus he should be part of his unborn children's life. That's the twins. And he claims that when he met the lady sometime in 2020 and had an intimate relationship with her until February when they parted ways. So according to him, they have lost 2 pregnancies before. He is at the same time seeking orders to have his name included in the children's birth certificates. He's also asking the court that his choice of names be registered in the certificates. He also wants the court to order that a DNA be conducted immediately the babies are born to ascertain that he is the father. He claims that immediately they parted ways in February, the said lady failed to update him on how her pregnancy journey is. Well, that's just from the courts, a bit of a human interest angle. That puts a cap on matters in the headlines. Remember, further details are available on our website. I leave in the capable hands of my colleague Victor Law as he takes you through the conversation ahead of President William Ruto's inaugural address of the bicameral parliament this afternoon. But before that, we take a quick breather. We'll be right back.